Okay, hit that record button. I see it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So welcome back. I'm talking to Joanne Zienty, the first soon to be famous Illinois author, recipient of the first award from the Illinois Library Association. So
Yeah, that was I am so grateful for winning that award, just because it really launched my book into a much larger readership. I mean, I think that was what brought me to so many libraries in Illinois. I mean, I've had libraries across the country purchasing the book for whatever reason, because I didn't do a lot of promotion on it. But I think winning that award really helped me be able to go out to libraries, public libraries, talk and have my book read. So
yeah.
in fact, my new one, which came out in April, I know this really isn't a time to publish a book because you can't do a lot of in-person promotion, obviously.
No sense sitting on it.
I mean, I just wanted to put it out there, that's who I am. I'm like, I'm going to put it out there, and who reads it, reads it. But Children of the Revolution was just named a finalist for the Illinois Indie Author Project. So I'm hoping to win again. We'll see.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, I'm really proud of you, and wish you the best. Now, you said it's a finalist, right? It's down to
down to 3. They're
wow.
3 again. Now but I don't know when it's being given. They said sometime in October. They really haven't given an exact date. So we're just kind of waiting, waiting to hear.
Well, best of luck to you with that.
Thank you.
I remember you were talking about going around to libraries, and that's the first time I ever met you. I was still workshopping. I was still working on The Ghost of Jamie McVeigh, and I went with some of my writing group from College of DuPage to Wheaton Library to hear you talk, and that's where I found your book. And it was fun to find out that you and I both started out on the South Side, and you put a lot of that into as the setting of that book. And it was a very familiar time and place that you described in the things we save.
Yeah, and so many people said that, that they really could identify with that, the era and the setting, which I kind of pride myself on that. And I think one of my goals as an author is the playwright August Wilson set all of his books or all of his plays in Pittsburgh, and he wrote this cycle of the 20th century about the African American experience in Pittsburgh. And as a writer, I would really love to write so many books. There are so many stories about Illinois and the Midwest and Chicago. And so that's one of my goals, is to really always use that as one of my settings. Now, my latest book, this new one, it's a dystopian fiction. So it's set in the future where there is no more Illinois. It's now Illiana. So you can kind of picture that the states of Illinois and Indiana have been kind of combined. So instead of a United States, we have a protectorate, which is run by a corporate corporation who's kind of taken over the Great Lakes, because in my future, which is kind of a devastated future by climate change, water is the most precious resource. So you can imagine the Great Lakes are very, very valuable in that kind of a setting.
And yeah, put companies in charge, right? So what could go wrong?
Yeah. Well, what could go wrong is they can be very ruthless. And when you have a 4-year drought and you're living in a farming community in obviously what used to be downstate Illinois, and they can no longer produce the crops to meet their quota, this corporate entity, the Galt Corporation, decides to downsize, let's put it that way. And the way they downsize is very ruthless. Um, and in my book, there's, a couple of kids who survive this downsizing. And the young woman, Merritt, decides that she needs to get revenge for this corporation taking away everything she's known and loved. Um, there's a saying that's attributed to Confucius, although it's not necessarily one of his sayings, but it says that when you embark on a journey of revenge, you should dig two graves, meaning that revenge, the process of seeking revenge, can destroy you as a human being. And so a lot of this book examines what revenge can do to your humanity, and is it possible to remain a human being as you're seeking this. She's going up against the human embodiment of the corporation, which is this man named Tanner, who is this relentless security officer who's, once he discovers she's escaped the downsizing, he is obviously hunting her down. But she decides that she's not just going to be the prey; she's going to also be the predator, and kind of.
Well, sounds like a lot of adventure and action and big themes.
Yeah, it's my take on the spaghetti western. It's
Okay.
it's just, that's what I thought. I was thinking the good, the bad, and the ugly the whole time I was writing it.
All right, all right. Well, you can't go wrong there. I mean, those are classics, right? So that's cool. That's cool. Well, I'm looking forward to reading it. You mentioned last time we talked that you had published it on a different platform this time too. You want to?
Yes. My first book, I just went with what used to be called CreateSpace, which was Amazon's publishing wing. They call it something else now, which escapes me. Amazon Direct Publishing. Anyway, this time I went with Ingram, their Lightning Spark publishing wing, which the reason I went with it is because they have a broader distribution base. Libraries are more likely to buy from Ingram. I mean, that's one of the two big sources of library purchases, Baker and Taylor being the other one. And they also offer, you can get hardcover. They have a nice, both with a dust jacket and without. And they'll also do, if you want to do an ebook, they'll also do paperback. So you can get a different types of publishing, as well as a very wide distribution network. Some libraries, at least when I first published, didn't really want to buy from Amazon. So I don't know if that's the case now. I mean, it's been 6 or 7 years since then, but I know Ingram does a lot of business with libraries. So that was one reason I changed. And I also wanted to have a hardcover version.
Yeah, it looks nice.
It's a lovely experience.
Uh-huh. Well, great. It sounds real promising. We'll have to look into it. Many of the authors tuning in might want to follow up on that too.
Yeah, check them out. It was very easy. I mean, having been through the indie author cycle one time, I mean, I was pretty savvy about it, but I think even if you were doing it for the first time, they have a whole guide, and I think it's pretty easy fairly painless.
Okay, that's great. In these times of COVID and all that, I suppose you don't have any public events lined up or anything.
No, not really. I did a Zoom with through the Gale Board and Library. They were doing interviews with previous soon to be famous Illinois
Oh,
author.
yeah.
So I was able to do a conversation a couple of months ago with them. And no, and now that school's in session, it's,
Who's
I'm
got time?
pretty bad at actually promoting myself. I
Yeah.
have to say that. Some people are good at promoting themselves. I'm pretty bad at it.
It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, it is. So I'm hoping to contact more libraries, and I have an idea of a presentation that I would love to do. I would love to do something about sort of the history of dystopian fiction
Okay.
and
Yeah.
why dystopian fiction is so popular in bad times. And my theory is that when you read dystopian fiction, you always think, oh my God, it could be worse.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It could be worse than it is now. And I think that's why it's popular.
Well, the environmental type of fiction is kind of a whole new niche, right?
Mhm.
Whole new genre. So you're right in there with on the cutting edge of that.
Yeah, and it's something I'm passionate about, and it also is something that I had to do a lot of research for. And I'm really big into research, but with this being kind of dystopian and science fiction, I still want it to be plausible. So I
Sure.
wanted to make sure that whatever I wrote was backed up by
Yeah.
science.
Yeah. Well, that's sound work. That's what we'd expect from you. Well, I wish you the best of luck with that, and I hope you win the award. And hope to I look forward to reading the book certainly, and it is available on Amazon and
Anywhere books are sold. You can order it online, probably through any bookstore. If you like indie bookstores like Anderson's, you can get it through them. Like I said, it may not be on the shelf, but you can order it through them and it's available on ebook, on paperback, hardcover. It's also available at Amazon through their Kindle ebook as well.
okay, yeah,
So a lot of different ways to get it.
yeah.
And you could go to your library and ask for it. And if they don't have it, they buy it.
That's good. So that's a little tip. Ask your favorite librarian
That's
to
right.
get it on the shelf, get it in
Yep,
circulation.
that's right. That's right.
All right. Well, thanks again for joining me, Joanne. Best of luck to you. Good luck in the school year and all that too.
Thanks so much for inviting me. It was lovely to talk to you.
Stay safe. Bye
All
bye.
right. Bye bye.